Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. अस्सलाम वालेकुम डियर स्टूडेंट्स, कैसे हैं सब? अच्छा, तो आज हमारा टॉपिक है टाइप्स ऑफ बॉन्ड। Types of bond, there are many types of bond like covalent bond, ionic bond, then coordinate covalent bond, metallic bond, and polar, non-polar covalent bond. First of all, we will discuss about covalent bond. Covalent bond is a type of bond. It is a type of bond which is formed by the mutual sharing of electrons. It is formed by mutual sharing of electrons between two atoms which are deficit in electrons or their valence shell are incomplete. As we studied earlier, the bond is a force which is formed between two atoms which are incomplete valence shell or deficit in electrons, and they want to become stable and they want stability. If two atoms form a bond and form a molecule by mutual sharing of electrons, then it is called a covalent bond. And covalent bond, mutual sharing, like there are two atoms which have incomplete valence shell. We are talking about valence shell. Valence shell means, we take the examples of hydrogen. Hydrogen, as we know, has only one electron in its valence shell, and it want to become stable and attain the electronic configuration of nearby noble gas by completing its duplet. Now what they do, they share their valence electrons. Sharing of electron is shown by overlapping between two atoms. There is a one electron of one atom and other from second atom. We show these electrons by dot and cross to differentiate the electrons between two atoms. Now this bond pair, one bond pair of electron is formed. Bond pair of electron is formed and they form a molecule. We can show this overlapping like this, There is a one hydrogen which has one electron in its valence shell. Now there is an other electron which is shown by cross in its valence shell. Now they form a covalent bond by sharing electrons. By sharing their electrons, this sharing of electrons between two atoms can be denoted by a single line between two atoms. This is called covalent bond. There are many examples of covalent bond formation. Now we will discuss the types of covalent bond. Types of covalent bond. Types of covalent bond depends upon the number of bond pair formation. Number of bond pair formation. How? If each bonded atom, bond pair means the pair of electron which take part in bonding. The pair of electrons which take part in bond formation. Number of bond pair. The types of covalent bond depends upon the number of bond pair. If there is one bond pair is formed, then it is called single covalent bond, which means each bonded atom contribute one electron. One electron is contributed by each bonded atom and it is represented by a single line between two atoms. Like we have already discussed the example of hydrogen molecule formation. This is an example of single covalent bond. There are many examples of single covalent bond. Now the second type is double covalent bond. If there are two electrons are contributed by each bonded atom, then it is called double covalent bond and two bond pairs are formed. Like in case of oxygen, here we will discuss the example of oxygen. Oxygen has 6 electrons in its valence shell, and as we already studied that atoms either follow duplet rule or octet rule to complete their valence shell and to attain the stability. If an atom have 6 electrons in its valence shell, it needs 2 electrons to attain stability, and these 2 electrons it will gain by sharing their 2 electrons and by forming 2 bond pairs. These 2 electrons will be shared by each oxygen atom and 2 bond pairs are formed between 2 oxygen atoms. These 2 bond pairs are represented by double lines between 2 oxygen atoms, and this is called double covalent bond. There are many examples of double covalent bond too. Now the third type is triple covalent bond. Triple covalent bond. As we discussed earlier, covalent bond is formed by contribution of electrons or mutual sharing of electrons. If an atom contributes three electrons are contributed by each bonded atom, then it is called triple covalent bond. The example of triple covalent bond, we will take the example of nitrogen. As nitrogen atom has 5 electrons in its valence shell. 5 electrons means it needs 3 electrons to complete its octet. Now these nitrogen atoms share 3 electrons to form a covalent bond. By sharing these 3 electrons, it will form triple covalent bond, and it will be shown by 3 lines between 2 nitrogen atoms, and this will form nitrogen gas, which is N2 form. This is an example of triple covalent bond. There are many examples of triple covalent bond too, but we will only discuss the example of nitrogen here. Now the lecture is over. Thanks.